it doesn't matter how many times we're told equipment doesn't matter, because we will always find it interesting, and we'll always want to know what any given film or show was shot on. Well, in this series, I try to simplify the most popular pieces of equipment in as little time as possible, and in today's video, I'm going to be looking at the brains behind everything, more specifically, the digital brains behind everything. Now remember, choosing a camera is specific to the project you are working on, and you should always put the project first. Don't just choose a camera because it's been offered to you. So let's start with the most famous cinema camera manufacturer of all time, ARRI. Well, probably tied with Panavision, but right now most people know of ARRI. Why would you choose ARRI over their competitors though? Well, firstly, they have arguably the best colour rendition on the market. Secondly, they have cameras that cover all budget levels from small indie productions to the biggest blockbusters of the year, and thirdly, you can't really go back once you start using them. Now, one of the main things I've noticed about ARRI is how intuitive their cameras are. The first time I was properly around one was maybe a couple of years after I started taking cinematography seriously, but I had used other higher end cameras in that time, and some of them weren't that easy to operate. But with ARRI it felt instant, and as well as that, you can also self-operate them to an extent. Maybe not the 65, but the Mini and Mini LF, sure. I mean, overall, once you see their colour science, versatility and all-round convenience, it's hard to look the other way, and that's without mentioning their rich history. In my opinion, they're usually the best tool for the job, well, most of the time anyway. Now, Panavision is a household name, and it has been for years. We would have the Filmed in Panavision logo at the start and end of a film, sometimes even on the posters, but that's all regarding their analogue related gear, or at least it was. Now, Panavision has some incredible digital cameras, notably the Millennium DXL and DXL2. They also have the Genesis, which is one of the first high-end digital cameras, but that's pretty much obsolete now. So why do you pick the DXL range? Well, if we are talking about the DXL2, then it has an incredible sensor, 16 stops of dynamic range, a native ISO of 1600, but these are all things that we can get from most other cinema cameras of this level. In fact, ARRI is similar, and in my opinion has better colour science, but something ARRI doesn't have is an 8K sensor, which is perfect for CGI. I mean, let's look through some of the credits of the DXL2. We see a lot of dramas, which is normal, but there are also a lot of CGI heavy films and shows such as Doctor Strange, The Pentaverate and Sonic 2. I mean, according to cinematographers that have shot films in these cameras, it also has an incredible ability for darkness and the convenience of swapping out large format and 35mm lenses with ease. It's something that you just don't really get with other cameras, but I just thought it was an interesting note that CGI heavy films really like this camera. As for Sony, this is the first camera with an almost prosumer line with their FX3, but they also have the FX6 and FX9, but their flagship, the Venice, is the most interesting to me. Now I think the main reason as to why I find it so interesting is that it's the first camera I saw that had a detachable sensor. Now I know the Alexa M has that same feature, but when I actually saw it in person at the BSC Expo, I was truly blown away, and in fact I actually saw the setup they were using for Top Gun Maverick there. But the Venice also boasts aspects like 8K recording, different sensor modes, dual ISO, a small form factor, great colour rendition. Again, like a lot of other cinema cameras of this level, but with a couple of aspects that make some productions go a lot smoother. And then you also have that filmed in IMAX aspect, as you can release films shot on the Venice in the digital IMAX format, and that's always a positive. Now, for me, Red was the first major cinema camera I used apart from Canon's C-line, and to be honest, I was surprised. I'd seen a lot of hate regarding them, but when I used it, it felt great. I mean, without a doubt, I would go with something like ARRI if I had the choice, but these are great, almost beginner-like cinema cameras, especially the ones that are a few years old, or you could just get a Komodo now. So why do people like Red? Well, like Panavision, they have been at the forefront of high resolution, but they are also extremely modular. I mean, you can send your camera in to get a better, more up-to-date sensor, and I can't think of another cinema camera company like that. Now I think the reason Red used to get a lot of hate was due to the reliability issues, and if I recall correctly, on David Fincher's The Social Network, they had to have backup cameras, just in case the Red one didn't turn on. Now I haven't had a chance to use Red's more recent cameras, but by the sounds of it, they fixed most of the issues.
I'm going back to my dorm.
Wait, is this real?
Yes.
Okay, then wait, I apologize, okay?
I have to go study.
Erica?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I mean it.
Apologies for the shorter video today, I'm away for the weekend and didn't want to rush a longer video in less time. However, if you would like to see a follow-up looking at analog cameras, then let me know down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, noticed if you did. If you have a recommendation for an analysis, leave it down below. Thank you so much for watching and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye!